do some of the goal setting conversation and what to track as an agent, and then I'll show you some of our systems and how we kind of track that from a team point of view, but you could always adapt to a solo agent point of view as well. So Jess, you want to take a minute and introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I am Jessica Dillon. I've been with the call group for just right around 2.5 years now. And I work predominantly with the agents one-on-one or in a training capacity. So I really love to know their big whys. I'm the one that absolutely loves knowing you do these things for what reason. When they don't want to do it, I'm like, hey, remember, you said you wanted to do this because of blank. And so that's where I really keep the agents focused on, and then really going into their trainings around what's pertinent to them and their business and moving the needle. That's just a little bit about me.
Absolutely. So I think we'll kick it off. Jess, well, everybody, we're like in the second half of the year, and something that we just did a week or two ago with our agents is like, okay, what's your goal for the second half? Where were you now? Like, what's your pending and closed status? And then what are you looking to accomplish by the end of the year? And what we did is, as a team, in one of our team meetings, we had a Google, a little QR code that led to a Google questionnaire, a form, and we asked them just a few questions. And then as a team, we're kind of coming around this goal. Jessica, do you want to share how you're using that information to shape the conversations and some of the questions that we asked just to get the agents in the mindset of setting goals for the second quarter and tracking their numbers?
Yeah, absolutely. So, some of the questions that we asked, so the first one we asked was, what was your top accomplishment for the first half of the year? And it wasn't specific on business nor personal. It really was just, what is the thing that you are the most proud of? So that we know kind of a gauge for them, whether it be a personal win or a professional, where they're kind of sitting. And then we said, what's your goal for the whole year? Just kind of that refreshing piece of, well, my goal was this. And sometimes agents like to think, oh, I'm going to change it. But no, what was your goal at the beginning of the year? And then what are you committed to for the second half? And then the extension past that is, what are the key actions that you're committed to reach that goal? And then is there any support or training or skill set that you need to reach that? So the agents really got to get very much in relationship with their goals. And we do have it of either units or volume. Some agents focus a little bit more on volume. So we do give them that little bit of flexibility there. But then the other piece that's an extension of this is, if I notice that their goal now looks vastly different than what it did when we originally set it, that's a conversation piece of, hey, I noticed that your goal is a little bit lower. Let's talk about this. Is it something that we're adjusting because it's realistic to adjust, that maybe we overshot? Is it something that we're just a little uncomfortable that we can push forward a little bit more? And then my favorite is when we also see, yes, this is now my stretch goal. I am way out trending where my first half of the year's goal was. And so now I want to push myself even further. Um, I think that most agents don't actually have a goal problem or a goal setting problem. They have a clarity and a follow through problem more so than anything else. I think that we are all great at setting goals, but how do we get there is the biggest thing. Because I do
Yeah.
hear oftentimes, I want to make 100 grand. Why? Because somebody said to make six figures one time and you just latched onto it. So looking at, what does that 100 grand really do for you? And then kind of adjusting from there. So I know, for instance, one of our agents, her goal is to pay off a car. So it's not prospecting time, it's pay off the car time. It's just a small tweak in, we know this is the reason why you want to do it.
Mhm.
And it also helps us as a team to go in and coach and know why the agents are attached to a specific number. Would you agree, Daria?
Yeah, absolutely. And something that's really important is that we share that across the leadership team. So we
Mm-hmm.
know what the agents are working towards. We know what their goal is. We know what their struggles are. And Jessica's really great. And we do have another sales team member. He's not on with us this morning, but Jessica is really great at digging in and building that relation with the agents. And whether you're a team leader or a solopreneur, like you really got to dig deep into them. And it's usually like three questions deep, like why, and what else, or what, and what else. And then she comes back and shares with the team as well. Jess, I would love to maybe just role play a little bit through a conversation of like, maybe
Yeah.
I'm resetting my goal and you're going to dig in for I'm not hitting it, I'm not doing the actions. Like, let's just role play through that a little bit so they can see kind of how you work in action.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Daria, we are halfway through the year, and
Yeah.
I'm curious for you, what is the thing that you're most proud of in the last 6 months? Like, what's your big win so far?
The last 6 months, I got four under contract, and I'm really excited about that.
Four under contract. That's amazing. So, tell me, what is it about that that makes it so exciting for you? Because that's a big win. So, tell me, what was the big thing for you? Why is that so exciting, and what did you do to make that happen?
Yeah, well, as you know, I just, came back from a little bit of a leave from real estate and just juggling some things with family and issues. And I know I got pulled away for a month or two and I really didn't focus, but the second part of the first half, that last quarter, I really kind of got down and dirty with my goals and I really focused. So
That's awesome. How does it feel knowing that you were able to readjust so quickly and get four under contract in such a short amount of time? How did that feel?
yeah, I mean, that was hard. And you guys pushed me and you stayed on top of me. There were days that I didn't want to do it. And there were days that I just would have rather stayed in bed or maybe gone to the gym or maybe even shopped at TJ Maxx. But I knew that I had a goal to set and just knowing that you guys were supporting me helped me get through those days.
Okay, perfect. So we have 6 months left of the year. We've
Yeah.
seen what we can do in a really dialed in 3 month focus. What do you need to do for the rest of the year to be a whole for your family? Like, what's the goal between now and the end of the year of what we need to close?
Yeah, so I mean, if you remember from the beginning of the year, I wanted to close 16 this year,
Hmm.
and I'm only at
Yeah.
four. I took some time off. I had some things, but doesn't everybody? So
Yeah.
I've got a gap of 12 here, and I just, Jessica, I really need to hit this number because we have that big vacation that we're planning next year, and this is important. My son is a senior, and this is our last, summer vacation with him next year and I need to hit it. So I just don't know what I need to do now to get to 12, over the next 6 months, really.
Okay. So what
That's
I'm
what I
hearing
need
from you
your
is that,
help.
okay, so 12 is non-negotiable, right? You're saying we have to hit 12, right?
I mean, I want to hit 12. If I can hit 10, I'll be really happy, but I want to hit 12. So what do you
Okay.
think?
So Daria, you just told me that you really need to go on vacation. It's the last year with your son as a senior,
Yeah.
and that you need to hit 12. You just said all those three things, correct?
Yeah, I mean, those are my non-negotiables. A vacation, a family, one last family vacation is a non-negotiable for me.
Okay, perfect. I'm committed to getting you there. In fact, I want to see pictures of you on the beach because I know you guys are going to go to the beach and it's going to be so much fun.
Hmm.
So, we know that you can do this. It might take a little bit of extra work, but here's the good news. You did four in 3 months. So if we look at what that does, we already know that you can stay maintained with this. And I know that in the last 3 months, we've really built up your pipeline. Would you agree that you probably have people that are getting ready to transact in the next little bit as well?
Yeah, I mean, I looked this morning before our coaching call, and I know I have like three solids that are ready to move in the next like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. They're ready to go.
Okay, perfect. So here's the good news. Three of 12 are already taken care of.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on the nine.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like was the biggest thing that you did that was different the last 3 months than what you did the first 3 months of the year?
Like dials and conversations. I know you guys have really been harping on that, and just like the more people I talk to, the more opportunity I'm going to get into.
Okay, so you're seeing that when you have more conversations, you're getting more results, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, good. So what I did is I went and took a look. You've consistently been hitting about seven conversations a day, if
Yeah.
I look at it. Do you think that it's unreasonable to have one more conversation than that this week, each day? Just one more than what you're already doing?
I mean, so 8 a day for the next week. I mean, I can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I
Okay,
can commit
perfect.
to that. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's focus on your eight a day for this week. Let's make sure that we hit that. What I want to do is ramp you up to getting up to 10 at least, because I know that if I can get you at 10 consistently every single day, your business is absolutely going to boom. Because I would love for you not to close 12, but to even close 16, because it'd be even more fun to take a longer vacation with your son, right?
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so
I
if
can do
I'm
that.
committed to getting you there,
Yep.
do you give me permission to hold you accountable on the days when you want to go to TJ Maxx, when you want to stay in bed, when you want to do all the things? Do you give me permission to be like, no, girl, we have big goals that don't include TJ Maxx.
Yeah, I might not like it, but yes, I give you permission to do that because I know you will. I know you'll hold me accountable, and I need that. I need that right now to stay focused.
Okay, perfect. Is there any extra support that I can give you that you need, encouragement, skill set, anything like that to go all in for the next 6 months?
I think I want to sit down and look at my calendar again, like my time blocking is off. Like that's a struggle for me to just get that
Okay.
calling time in, the conversation time. So maybe if we could sit down and talk about that.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to send you a rough draft. I want you to fill in with what you think your schedule is. I'm
Hmm.
going to fill in with what I think your schedule is, and let's compare the two and go from there.
Okay. Thanks, Jess. This was really
Yeah,
helpful.
absolutely.
Yeah. So break script there. So
Yeah.
that's I hope that helped. That's really how our agents, that was kind of two agents kind of squished together, right, Jess? Like things that we've heard
Yes.
recently.
Hmm.
But that's kind of, that's what she goes into, and that's how we provide that accountability around agents' goals because you can set a goal, but if you don't have someone to help you get there, to make an action plan, to turn that goal into little actionable items and steps that are bite-sized, then you're not going to get there. And you need an accountability partner to help you get there. So, Jess, you want to talk more about that?
Yeah. So, one thing that I will also share is from, if you're a team leader or you're sharing your goals, your agents are sharing your goals with you, I think it's really important for us to also share our goal with them. Like, my goal is for you to be here, or my goal or something I'm personally working on is this, and showing that level of vulnerability and asking for them to help hold you accountable for something, having that symbiotic accountability goes really, really far because we're both reporting out to each other. So it doesn't feel as though someone's being pushed and there's not somebody else that's in it with them. So all of the agents on my team know right now that I'm doing 75 hard and they are very, very aware of what I'm allowed to do and not do. And they definitely hold me accountable. We talked a lot about cookies yesterday. Um,
We did. It was so funny. We're like, that is
yeah,
not on the 75 hard. And she knew her calories and her sugar content for that cookie. And she's like, actually, this is okay on my 75 hard.
this is 90 calories and 9 grams of sugar and it counts for my diet. I'm allowed to have one. Um, so the other thing we go into, like setting the goals, and I think that when I look at it and I'm an individual, if I'm setting my goals for me, what is this goal going to do? Like
Hmm.
writing down specifically, what does when I hit this really look like? What is the dollar amount I'm going to make? What am I going to spend it on? How am I going to feel? Go through all the fun things. And then conversely, also, if I don't hit this, what happens?
Hmm.
If I don't hit this, what are we going to do? So that you can see the push and pull with it. And it truly has to be a non-negotiable. Like you have to say, there is nothing that is going to get in my way. And yes, we can all have bad weeks, but you can also just have a bad day and turn it into a bad week really easily versus just saying, yep, it was the day, tomorrow starts over again. So tying in your goals into what that really looks like for you and then getting very feeling attached to it, if that makes sense. So if you notice when I did it with Daria, what does that feel like? What is that going to do for you? Like, okay, you're spending your last. So this really isn't about the number on the board. It's about getting you to have a vacation with your son, because ultimately that's what's going to drive Daria is the vacation with her son, not, hey, you're at 8, you're at 9, let's go. Like that doesn't mean anything.
Hmm.
So having those micro wins too and those milestones as well. So if you want to write down like 3 things when you're going to set your goals is like, who do you want to become? Like, what does this look like? Who do I look like when I hit this goal?
Hmm.
Who does this goal help outside of just me? Whether it be family, friends, team, like when we hit this goal, who else does it impact? And what does hitting this allow me to do? Just personally, selfishly.
Yeah, I think that's, you have to believe in it, and then you have to share it with people. You have to share
Hmm.
your goals with people. In fact, I would love for everyone to just drop in the chat right now either a transaction number goal for the rest of the year, from this, from July to December, what you want to do, or if it's a monetary goal, a certain amount of money that you want to make from now until the end of the year. So everyone take a quick minute and then drop that in the chat and make sure everyone can see the message so we all see your goals. Because once you put it out there, you're about 80% more likely to hit your goal. Um, the second thing that I want to say, and we've touched on this a few times, is you've got to get an accountability partner. If you're on a team, then most likely you have a sales director or maybe an ops person, another teammate that is leading you and holding you accountable. If you're a solo agent, you've got to find someone. A few years back, I had an accountability partner. We were accountability partners for 5 years. And she called me out every Monday. She was like, "Hey, you said you were going to do this. Did you do it?" Yes. And it was a really quick 5 minute conversation. Did you do these three things? Yes or no? Why not? Why? How does it feel? Great. And then flip flop the conversation. And that really took me from where I was, really skyrocketed. And that's where I started to really, I would say, flourish in some of the leadership spaces that I was in, running teams, etc. So if you don't have an accountability partner, I really highly recommend that you have one, that you find one. If you can't find one, reach out to Jess, reach out to me. We'll be happy, and Anna and Allison will be happy to be your accountability partner and help you connect with one if you really want to get one. So let's see what we've got in here. Kelly, 10 units. That's awesome. I think that's definitely doable. You just got to focus real hard. The Cox team, 30 more sales in the last half of the year. Way to go, lady. That's a great goal.
Love that.
I don't know how many people are on your team, but just push them, right? Like give them gentle pressure is what we call that. Reset that pressure every day for them. Stacy Applegate, 12. That's awesome. That's completely doable. Laura, I'd like to net another 60K and be an amazing team leader. Laura, I bet you are already an amazing team leader. You might not be giving yourself enough credit, but way to go. And self-development is the way to hit that. Miranda, 8 million more in volume. You can do it, lady. I believe in you. Anna, thank you. I love this so big. We love you too, Anna. Thanks for having us today. And 50K in the next 6 months and five new agents. You go, girl. Build that team. And yes, she's an amazing team leader. Yes, Anne, love it. Love it. Love it. So now let's talk about some of the systems and the way that we track these goals and our agents, I guess, accountability. We have a couple of systems that we use on the team. Now we're a larger team. We've got about 50 agents, so to speak, and then some admin as well. We use a couple of programs to track, and then we have a lot of spreadsheets. Jess and I love spreadsheets. So we track our agents track their CRM and Follow Up Boss. That's the CRM that we use, and it can track their dials, their conversations, their dials, connections, conversations. They can track their appointments, and we can change their status, and we have a deal maker in there. So that's one way that our agents track their numbers, and that's what we look at to see, are they dialing, who's having success, getting into conversation, etc. From there, we also have a program called Open to Close, which is our transaction management software. So that's where we track our agents' pendings and our closed. So that is where our TCs and our admin work out of. Leadership has a general access that we can get in there as well and see deal count and things like that. I know you can track that in Follow Up Boss. For us, it's just the way our system is set up that we just have these two programs that interact together, and we track our transactions in an Open to Close. And then the third program that we go into, and this will be redundant, but we're just a little crazy that way, we have Sisu. And we know Sisu is also a transaction management program, but we do the Open to Close, and then Sisu tracks our numbers. So that's where we see our transaction count. That's where we see our GCI. That's where we see our volume. That's where we see commission to the agents. And again, leadership has access to that. Agents have access to Sisu. They can see their numbers. They have a dashboard and Open to Close. They can see their transactions. And then, of course, they have full access to see their CRM and their bucket as we so their pipeline in Open to Close. I'm sorry, in Follow Up Boss. Across the board, we probably look at these numbers on a daily basis. So speaking to the team leaders here, at the end of each day, our leadership team gets an end of day report. And team leaders, we find value in this, and Jess can speak to this in a minute. At the very top of our end of day report, it tells what appointments were set by our ISA. We have two ISAs. We're very lucky. I know not every team has them. Some teams do. We go into follow-up boss and we see what appointments were set that day, who they were set to, and then what's the source that they came from. So that's the first part of the report. The second part of the report is anything that went pending that day. So we want to see any listings or buyers that went under contract, who the agent was, what the source is, the location, and then the price point. Again, we are hyper on our numbers because if you don't know the numbers, you can't drive the business. After that, we have any new listings that were signed. Again, agent, location, source, price. And then we have anything that went active, and then what closed for the day, agent, source, location, price. At the very bottom of the report, we have a running tally of our pending for the month. And it's just a simple spreadsheet where it has the agents' names, from top to bottom, and then what they have pending slash what their goal is. And the way that leadership can use this, and Jess can talk about this in a minute, it really helps guide her conversations, is let's say my goal for the month is two pending, and it's halfway through the month and I still have a goose egg. I got a 0 on the board. So Jessica can see that. And then Jess, what would you do with that conversation in our next coaching call? If you see I have 0 and my goal is 2 for the month.
So our conversation call or our coaching call is going to go a little bit like, hey, so I see that we're behind on the goal. Tell me a little bit more about that. And then I'm going to say quiet. And Daria is going to fill it with whatever she can come up with.
Yeah, like it's been nice out. The beach has been great. Like I stubbed my toe walking down the stairs yesterday and I had to ice it for 5 hours.
No, I totally understand that. So let me ask you, Daria, are you still committed to your two under contract this month? Or are you going to try and snowball this into other months right now? Because I know we have to get you to the beach
Yeah.
next year. So are we committed to the two right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm committed to it. Yeah. So,
Okay, perfect. So here's the good news. It's only two more. And I have a couple of activities that I know are going to get you into motion. So I'm curious, would you rather pick up some extra door knocking? Do you want to start hosting open houses? Do you want to start calling a little bit more with me? Where out of this list of 10 things do you commit to doing more of so we can get you back on track?
exactly. And then I would pick, one or two of the things, and Jessica would hold me accountable, similar to that
But
conversation.
Yep.
Conversely, how we use this report, and we could talk to this too. We just had an agent put 3 under contract this last weekend, and she's been with us. Oh, she
Four
got
as
4
of this
together.
morning.
Yeah. Oh, she
Four,
got another
no, a
one?
new one. Yeah, a new one last night. We wrote a new one last night. Yeah.
Okay.
90 days in, just wrote
90
four
days
contracts.
in,
Brand new
this
agent.
lady is killing it, right? So when you see this end of day report, and we're seeing that this agent is her name is there 3 times from a Monday report from the weekend. Like, Jess, what are you doing with that information? Like, how does that translate into what you're going to say?
So one, we celebrated way late in the evening last night, like even at like 10 o'clock at night, and they all know that I'm in bed early. But it was like, oh my God, I got it. And they like you just champion them so much. And then looking for patterns too in that end of day report. So if I notice that I haven't seen somebody's name come up as far as like a closing or something like that, like I'm just looking, it's a nice reminder of what I'm seeing to then also reach out. That's also my checklist to make sure I've touched every agent on our team at least once in the week because I'm looking at their names consistently. But just even when it's I say even when somebody gets one under contract, shouting them out immediately and saying, "Oh my God, congratulations, that's amazing. Was this so and so that we were talking about?"
Yeah.
Um,
And that
so
brings up a
really
great
just
point. Something that this is a reason that we stuck with open to close rather than move our transactions over to Sisu for management. Open to close has a texting feature, and you can have these things called auto triggers. So anytime an agent puts in an intake for a listing under contract, a new listing, a buyer under contract, etc., the leadership team gets a text message immediately, and it says like, so and so agent just put this under contract. It gives us the address, it gives us a price point, and then the source. And then we can immediately take that if we have the time and the minute and go right to the agent and say, "Oh my gosh, like this is amazing. We noticed this is your third one coming in today. Like, congratulations." Or your first one ever. Like, we really try to celebrate those moments as well. So, we've got a couple of minutes, and I just wanted to open it up to Q&A. If anybody has questions on our systems or the way that, Jess helps manage the sales team. I know we have some team leaders on here. If you're a solopreneur, we can answer questions too. Both of us were kind of individual. We've kind of run the whole gamut of all the real estate options. We've been in every single seat that there is. So if you have questions, we'd love to answer them for you real quick.
I have team members on so they can learn how the sausage gets made. But what we know that agents need to understand how it benefits them to get them to do something. I wrote that from my Chef Black coaching
Mhm.
last 2 weeks ago. What is the, other than just like hard accountability, like how are you guys converting agents to actually getting appointments put into FUB so that that daily report is a true indicator of what's happening? Because I know there are appointments happening today that are not in our follow-up boss. And it is always daunting to me to try to figure out how do we align there. And I can say it's for their own benefit to tell them blue in the face, but I mean, there was had to have been a point where there were not appointments in Fall Boston. You guys have gotten your people there. So, what is that? Can you walk me through what that looks like for you guys?
Yeah, Jess, you want to tackle that one?
Yep. So there's a little bit of pain and pleasure with this. From an agent as an individual, one thing that you have to think of is you are part of something much bigger. So every time I don't do the one thing, when that's coupled over 30, 40, 50, even 10 times, that means that we are missing the information. And as a team leader, I don't know, do we need more leads? Do I need to pull more levers? Like how are we doing with conversion? Let's put more opportunity in front of them because without the information, we can't go on hopes and wishes and like, oh, I know they're doing something. So from an agent perspective, more opportunity is what's in it for you. Like the more we track, the know where we need to push, where we need to pull, where you're excelling at, all of that. And as a team leader, it lets you know, hey, they are converting great with this lead source. Let's go all in with that lead
Mhm.
source. Or we're burning them out in this lead source. Let's adjust and pivot and move that money somewhere else. So as an agent, it's more opportunity on the other side of it. And it also teaches you to be a business owner. Like you can be
Yeah.
a business servicer or an owner.
Yeah, I think something else that it helps with and is knowing where to pinpoint the conversations, right? So we see a
Mm-hmm.
lot of appointments set, but then we see very little met or a lot of set, but very little agency signed. Well, then we know where the gap is, and then we can get in and have those specific conversations. Like our whole team just presented their listing presentation in the last month or two to Jessica and our other sales director. And they went through and they were the sellers and they had to sit there and every agent presented. But it identified a whole bunch of gaps in our systems, in their talking tracks, and things like that. If we don't track those numbers, and that's the feature and the benefit. The feature is we're going to track your numbers. The benefit is now we know to really where to pinpoint those conversations to help you get stronger as an agent.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was very helpful. I also would love, I know we've got a lot of team members on as well. And if you guys have any questions this is Tina Call's back end team as well. So if you guys have any questions, I would love for you to ask now. This is a great time to kind of, like Anna said, see how the sausage is made. And we love feedback from things you heard that maybe you would like for us to implement as well. Anybody from the Greco group or APRE on that want to maybe pipe in a little bit?
Yeah, we're an open book. We'll share what we got.
I'm new and I am using Follow Up Boss and I really like it. But so one of the things that I'm trying to be better at is logging all my calls, especially if I'm having a phone call from my personal cell phone number. So I go on there and I just log the call. I'm trying to be better about putting appointments in and just really almost to make myself more accountable and so that I can see like exactly what I'm doing. Do you just recommend just keeping that updated and things like that? Is that suffice like to have a conversation on, because I do worry about like having conversations on my personal phone and then stuff doesn't get logged on FUB.
So can I take this one, Daria?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm going to share some good news and some bad news. So good news, you're an agent. Bad news is you have to figure out the best system for you. And the best system is the one that works. And I will be honest with you, the best thing you can do now as an agent today, no matter whether you're in the business for 15 years or 15 seconds, is go ahead and make sure with your follow boss you have the ability to have a work phone number and share that as your work phone number. It's really simple. In your contact card, you just have two different phone numbers and you just get them really in relationship with, hey, this is my work phone number, share it. Everything is automatically recorded. When they call that phone number, it drops the note. It's going to transcribe everything. Just start getting really comfortable with this as my work cell phone number as much as you possibly can.
Okay.
And it opens up a conversation that when you say, hey, this is my work phone number, why you have a new work phone number? Oh, I'm in state. Haven't I told you? So switching just in your settings into using your outbound number as a Follow Up Boss number and just adjusting that will be life changing for you, because then everything will just be automatically recorded where you don't even have to worry about it. And then you have those few and far betweens that are just on your personal phone that you'll have to add, but that way everything is automatically tracked for you.
Yeah, and I think
Also,
something to add is if you're a new agent, this is the perfect time to form the habit because you
yes.
don't know different, right? So start logging everything and making all those dials, those phone calls, those text messages through Follow Up Boss. On the back end in the admin system, I can tell you like how this benefits your team because there might be a time where you have a transaction with a bump in the road and you might call one of your team leaders in or maybe a transaction coordinator, and we can go back and Follow Up Boss. We can listen to the conversation. We can read the text messages. We can decipher some information to catch up on the situation and then help best advise you. I probably, because I also sit in the broker in charge seat at Call Group, I probably do that 2 or 3 times a week where I'm like, hey, I get an agent like, things are blowing up and it's on fire and I need your help. Great. Let me get in. Who's the client? Let me look and Follow Up Boss. I'll call you back in about 10 minutes. And it just gives me a really high level of what's going on. And I could see like, did we have fault in it? Because sometimes we do, and we need to kind of scoop ourselves out of it. Was it something that the agent said? Was it a vendor promise that didn't come true? Like, where did it kind of go off the rails and what do we have to do to get back on there? And to be able to see that information at free will is like invaluable for your team. So I would just
What if
start
you
doing
have
it as a daily
what if
habit.
you have a conversation with someone that's not on the phone? Do you log that as well?
Yeah, so sometimes the
Okay.
agents will go and just type in some summary notes, but Follow Up Boss right now, like they have an AI feature that will summarize your conversation.
Yeah, I
So
know that's awesome.
yeah, if you have one that's outside of FUB, I would just go in and type in some notes there because there's so many people in our transactions that it's just so helpful instead of, 5 people calling you and saying, well, what about this question? What did this person say? We've got this and we can't find the answer. Like it's also a time saver for you. You could say, hey, everything's in FUB. Go look at the record and call me with questions. Like leverage that out as almost like an assistant for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Anybody else?
I love that. That was great. Okay, anybody else? All right, guys. Well, we want to respect your time. We like to stop this at 9 o'clock. We're 5 minutes over. We appreciate everything from you guys. And again, we're doing this very structured for 3 months. So we will see you next month on the third Wednesday in August. And we'll rock and roll from there. So go make it a great day, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, girls.
Bye.
Bye.
Amazing.